Hey guys, it's Aubri Blaize on the Aubri Blaize team. I'm the team lead here, and I know that you are filling out a bunch of buyer docs, and maybe we told you everything over the phone or in person, but it could be a lot of information all at once, and this is can be overwhelming journey from buying a home. So I decided to create this video for you guys to kind of go through each document, quick, sweet, short form for the most part. There are a lot of pages, and so that's a lot of information. And so I'm going to go over the most main important parts that you will want to know or understand, so that way you feel like you kind of go through this whole transaction very smooth sailing, and then you can re-watch this video several times, so that way you kind of have an idea, what's happening, and you know what's going on and what you're signing. So one of the first documents that is required for a real estate agent to be able to represent you fully in your best interest is an exclusive buyer agency agreement, okay? That's the very first thing, to be able to unlock a door and show you and give you seller's disclosures. Are any of our 2 cents on a property, disclosing any latent defects, sharing any kind of information from the listing agent to you, all of that, and fully representing you in your best interest. This document has to be signed, period. It protects you and it protects the agent, because we, as you know, are commission based. We only get paid at closing. So it's to protect us, so we're not showing somebody, 500 homes and paying for babysitters and gas, and then finding out that somebody ends up using another agent, and they've spent all this time and money helping these people. So it's there to protect us, to make sure that we stay loyal to each other, but it's also to protect you and your best interest, because the seller and the listing agent don't represent you at all. The listing agent represents the seller and their best interests. And so it's important to have somebody that has your best interest and has knowledge of the real estate transaction and everything. So we're going to talk about that. So an exclusive buyer agency agreement is an agreement between your agent and you. So it's going to have your name up at the top. It's going to have ASP, AMP, or AMC for a married person, a single person, a married couple, because title wants to know how you're taking that deed when you close, or the title when you close. Then it's going to have a general location. This is like a very broad location of where you're looking. And the agreement is going to have a start date that agent is working with you, to an end date when it expires and they no longer work for you unless closing comes before that. So typically we put a 7 or 8 month period in there, because that is considered a balanced market. And so sometimes that's about the time that it takes to search for homes, go under contract, and get closed. So that can technically be any time. We can do, a 1 week, a 24-hour period. If you're unsure of the agent, you can do 7 months, you can do a year. Doesn't matter, but 7 months is the average. Second, it's going to have price range. So it's going to have a very low end of what your price range is to over what your probably max is, just to cover you and that agent in that price range. Because that if you're buying something below or above that, technically this agreement is we're only helping you within that price range. It's going to have property type like residential, new construction land underneath that. And then it's going to go into, we're not lawyers, we're not like financial advisors, none of that. So if you want to seek those opinions, you will need to find, we're not mechanics. I'm not a window person. We don't do foundation. We're not inspectors. We're not plumbers. So things like that, we can help guide you and share the best people and who to go to, because we've done it so many times. But at the end of the day, we are not, surveyors or structural engineers or things like that. And so if you want more information on those specific things, you do want to hire an inspector to go out on that property during your inspection period, things like that. Second, we're going to talk about what our services are for you. So we're going to seek properties that meet your terms, like your criteria, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe 1 acre, stuff like that, in a timely manner, and assist with closing of that property, helping you find the property, go under contract, assist you through the whole transaction, all the way up till closing on that transaction. We're going to exercise reasonable care and skill in promoting your utmost best interest. Of course, we cannot do anything illegal, but we're going to also have good communication. We're going to get back to you in a timely manner. We're going to help you negotiate offers and counter offers, and share all the information about the transaction, that property, whatever as we possibly can to help you determine if that's your property or not, or what road you're going to take. Okay. We're also going to disclose all latent defects. If we know about a property, maybe I know you're looking at a property that's listed and I know last year that it sold and had a bunch of foundation issues, I'm going to tell you that there's a bunch of foundation issues in that house. So anything that we notice that is like a latent defect or an issue that we know about that house, we are going to disclose that to you and find that information and share it with you. If we know it, you're going to know it. We're going to follow all state rules, regulations, federal, state, all local laws. We can't do anything illegal for you guys, and that includes fair housing as well. And then we're going to keep all of your information confidential unless you want us to share certain tidbits of information with the other party, then we can. The second page goes into our compensation. As you know, we're commission based. So this is going to show the commission. It could be paid for by the seller or the buyer. Typically right now we're seeing mostly sellers pay for the buyer's agent commission. If there is a case where they're not, you're going to be told ahead of time. You're not going to be suddenly like, you owe me X amount of dollars. You're going to know way ahead and you can determine how you want to proceed. Typically it's 3%, but it can be negotiated. There's tier system, stuff like that. And then our flat fee. Brokerage flat fee is just a flat fee and it kind of just covers a bunch of different things. So then we're going to keep going down. There's a part of this section that says that like if you decided to cancel with us, but we showed you a property while this agreement took place before you canceled, and then you decided to buy a property after, it does protect us because technically we helped you find that property up to 180 days. So you wouldn't be able to buy that property without us being owed a commission until after 180 days. Obviously, if you cancel and you find something the next day and we haven't showed you, that's fair game, that's yours. So just so you know. Okay, we're gonna look at section 4. This just talks about getting pre-approved, that you're going to try, if you haven't already, get pre-approved. It is extremely important to get pre-approved. It gives all of us an idea of what you want your budget to be so that way we can hone down exactly the houses. We don't wanna be like out there just showing any house and having no idea of what you want your budget to be, because then I'm going to be wasting your time, you're going to be wasting my time, and we're not going to be on the same wavelength with that, and it's going to make the whole entire transaction very hard. So getting pre-approved is very important. We have people that we can share and you can choose whoever you want. I always say find somebody local and someone that'll answer the phones after hours, like weekends and stuff, because most of the time homes get listed on a Thursday, you're looking on a Friday, Saturday, and you need to be able to get a hold of your lender if like you need to ask, hey, can you close this quickly, or can we change these terms? So those are our recommendations. This also form is saying that you don't have this form signed with anyone else. You haven't signed this with any other agent in this area. That protects us. If you have two signed, it's just a whole hot mess, so don't do it. The next is typical inspections. This is on page 3 of 9, and this just talks about all the types of inspections you can do. You can do in your inspection period any of these. They are at cost to you. However, you want to know exactly what you're buying and what you're getting yourself into and how to navigate and how much things could cost. So it's important to do any that you feel compelled to do. Most people do whole house, radon and termite, sewer scope, there's mold, but there's a lot in here. So you can look and kind of determine what is most important to you and your family. And then our team has a list of trusted professionals that can relate to this list that can help you if you don't know who to use, or you can use, if you know somebody, you can use whoever you want. So page 6 is going to talk about legal and other regulatory disclosures. As a buyer, we're going to talk about TILA RESPA. Buyers have certain rights to review mortgage terms prior to closing a real estate transaction or purchase. Final closing figures must be received by a buyer 3 days, banking days prior to your closing. So your lender should be sending you their final numbers and figures and exactly what you need to bring to close if you have to bring to close any money 3 days prior to closing, 3 business days. This is to protect you so that way you're not finding out the day of or day before and then you're like rushing to get financing together and then you miss closing and it's all because the lender didn't tell you on time. So That's this whole section here talks about it. Section C talks about crime. If you are worried about crime in a certain neighborhood, there's these 2 websites for Kansas and Missouri that you can go and look up the crime in the neighborhood. I also recommend niche.com. It's going to tell you about school districts and everything you want to know about certain neighborhoods. I legally and our team legally cannot share what neighborhoods we think are good or bad or whatever, or what schools are good or bad. We can't share that. You've got to do your own research, but we do provide the websites for you to look at. We also can disclose your identity to prospective sellers and information like, hey, my client is thinking about making an offer on your property, things like that. They will also be able to see your names on a contract, just so you know as well. Next page, 7 of 9, I'm trying to hurry up, I know it's a lot, is the KW franchise disclosure. This is just saying that Keller Williams is a franchise. The next section is a home warranty program. We recommend that you get a home warranty. It covers PEACH, the acronym PEACH, plumbing, electrical, appliances, cooling, and heating. So it's going to cover all of that within your home. Each home warranty has their own little things of what they do and don't do, and they do not cover pre-existing conditions. You can ask the seller or you can pay for a home warranty on your home when you purchase it, and it gets paid for at closing. I try to negotiate a home warranty paid for by the seller on every single transaction, just an extra little bit of coverage for you. The next section talks about arbitration and going to court. If there's a disagreement, you have the right to go to arbitration and small claims court. The next one is the anti-fraud disclosure statement. This basically just says that people are scammers out there. And so you might get an email that says it's from Aubri Blaize at Keller Williams, Kansas City North, and it's a scammer saying, hey, send money somewhere. I'll tell you right now, our team will never ask you to send money anywhere. The only times that you'll pay for something is through an inspection, your earnest deposit, and possibly appraisal from the lender, depending. So don't send any money unless you've literally talked to me or title over the phone or in person. Or if you have any concerns about something, call me and we'll talk about it, or call somebody on the team, your agent, and talk to them about it. However, if you know, our brokerage does offer coverage. So if you happen to get scammed, you have some coverage for you. Then the next section would be additional terms. Next section is the agreement. This is just saying that you agree for us to help you through this entire transaction, that it could be done electronically via dot loop or DocuSign, and that you understand that we're helping you purchase a property with your best interests in mind and negotiating for you and helping you with scheduling, inspections, and all of that stuff up until closing. And then the last page is going to have your information, my information, or our team's information, and signatures, and that's that. I hope that this little bit helps. We're going to move on to the other 2 documents that you sign for us to be able to start setting you up on a search and helping you find a house. I hope this helped, and I hope you guys have a great day. And I play back, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to anybody on our team. Thanks.